Now there'll be a bit of
Broadcast is
a
live. Do a side by side.
side by side.
That's the one I like to start with. There we go.
There we go. I am kind of zoomed up, aren't I? I
You
can't
are
zoom
zoomed
back.
way up. Did you move your camera real close to your face?
No. So the stream is up now on YouTube.
Good.
Hopefully it's on Podfeet.
Allison's Stream Deck. Nice, John. Oh my gosh, that's fabulous. That's fabulous, John. It's up on Podfeet, Sandy says.
Thank you, Sandy.
Let me close my door so I don't hear you 3 times. I'm wearing my Tesla and Kettleman City shirt. You know, it's like buying a shirt at a gas station. All right. So we did a test of the audio there. Oh, Alan said right on time that I needed to do roll call, and I didn't do roll call. So let's do roll call. We've got Kevin and Bill and Bruce and Jill and John and Mike and Sandy and Michael and Al and Alistair. We don't have a Frank tonight, do we?
I don't think so. Let's check the who
we
is
need
with
Lindsay.
us.
Yeah, she just probably is home. She just got back from Lake Arrowhead, playing with the kitties in the snow. How fun is that?
Yeah, I don't see Frank.
Yeah. Anybody heard from Frank?
I know that Rick won't be joining us.
Right. I'm starting to think Rick should let you know, Kevin, when he is going to come. I can't remember the last time he was here.
I think he was here last week.
Was he?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Hey, Alistair, ask everybody in the group here whether they use Teams and have an answer to your searching question. Jill might know. Jill knows everything. She does a lot of Windows stuff, so she might know the answer. All right. I think I should start the show. What do you think?
Okay.
There's a way we could go. All right.
We could do that. You kind of like, I think you like this view where I
Yes, that's the one. You're still talking and I can't hear you anymore, remember. So if you need me to hear you.
That's an example of how I can immediately go to the view that I want in StreamYard. That's one of the things I don't like about it.
If you had a Stream Deck. You know, you're also out of focus. You're fuzzy.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't look crisp.
I wonder if webcam settings is a little messed
run
up.
On the M1 or anything. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, well, here, let me adjust the focus. Feel like outer limits.
That's much better.
I control the horizontal. I control the vertical.
It's like, yeah, that's a little better.
Let me go away. I'm going to go away from this camera and then back in the controls. Sometimes that toggling.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's much better.
It's just not. Not
well, we can work on that later.
Yeah.
Another time. We should get going. Payon is back. And haven't quite memorized who you are. Have to remind me your name. I'll get it eventually. All right, let's go ahead and start. Why does it say February 8th? That's so confusing. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, February 27th, 2022, and this is show number 877. Well, I'd like to give a big shout out to my granddaughter, will be 2 years old tomorrow. Happy birthday, Kennedy. I saw you zipping around there. I thought maybe
that music shopping. From my end, that music sounded super loud. How was that from your end, folks, in the chat room? It was booming. It was okay? Okay. All that matters is the recording.
Yeah, and what matters really most is what I hear. So I think we're okay. All right. Let me bring up Cheyenne. How fun was that interview with Cheyenne, guys? Have you heard it yet? It's the best. So fun. chapter mark. Dagnabbit. Did I get a reminder? I did. I hate it when he's right. Okay, preview. I'm doing the windows all wrong here. You move over here. You be there. But that has to be this one for that to change to this. Okay, there we go. Whew. A lot of moving windows around to figure out what I'm supposed to do. So let's see. I pushed the grumpy button. And I heard it this time. Last week I didn't hear it. There we go. Okay, and now I can go to... Where are you, Cheyenne? There you are. I should keep you down there. No, I want to keep that there. I'm not keeping windows in the right place. I'm having trouble flipping. There we go. All right. In this week's episode of Chit Chat Across the Pond Light, Cheyenne Swenson joins us to tell us about her new electric vehicle, the Kia EV6. Cheyenne explains how she calls it a spaceship because it's got two 12-inch wide aspect ratio displays and because of how different it is to drive from any car she's ever owned. We talk about how she chose this particular EV and why she went electric in the first place. She explains the two screens and what information goes where and why, and also holds it over me that her car actually has dedicated dials for temperature and the radio. Anyway, we talked about the backup cameras, how well the cruise control with lane steering works, and how weird the door handles are. Cheyenne is an absolute joy to talk to. She's funny and she's well-informed at the same time. I really hope you give it a listen. If you subscribe to the Chit Chat Lite feed, everything should be fine. But if you subscribe to the main Chit Chat feed, you may hear bad audio levels. I kind of fat-fingered which file I put up originally, and I changed it like within seconds, but the podcatchers are too fast and they download almost immediately. So if it sounds funny at all in the main feed, just immediately just delete that episode and re-download and you'll be fine. And you'll hear Cheyenne's dulcet tones along with me. All right. Batfink. Hi, Batfink.
Batfink did join us, and Payon is Michael Babcock.
Michael Babcock. Michael. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Where's my grumpy button? Really is fun to hit a button. I think I came up with Jill, I came up with another brilliant button to put on my Stream Deck. I put system preferences on my Stream Deck. How fun is that? I thought it was brilliant because I go to that a lot. Yeah. Well, I've recorded another Screencast Online tutorial all about a tool called Photomagico. If you got a special moment to commemorate, there's really nothing more compelling than a well-done slideshow with music timed to, pull at the heartstrings. Maybe it's celebrating the birthday of a beloved aunt or commemorating a season of Little League. I did one like that once and brought the coaches to their knees. Maybe it's capturing your family vacation. Any of those, a slideshow can bring tears of joy if done well. There may even be business-related uses for a good slideshow, from advertising to marketing of your company's products. Now, if you're highly skilled and very, very patient, you can create an artistic slideshow with tools like iMovie or Final Cut Pro 10. But these tools aren't designed to create slideshows, so you have to do a lot of the heavy lifting to do even some of the most basic functions of a good slideshow. Well, in the tutorial I did for Photomagico from Boinks, I explained that it's an app for iPad and Mac designed just for making slideshow. Now, I like to think of this as an app as being pretty much for everyone because it's very easy to drop in a series of photos, add some music and titles, and publish a pretty neat slideshow with just the defaults from the application. But as you get to dig into Photomagico, you'll realize that it's highly capable with many features that I was only barely able to touch on in this tutorial. I mean, it's just so expansive. Now, Photomagico is a subscription service at $8 a month, but since it's in the Mac App Store and the iOS App Store, you can turn your subscription on and off month to month. So if you got a big event coming up, $8 to create a spectacular slideshow for that one special event is a very small price to pay and will take you far less time than any other tool. So I put a teaser video in the show notes to give you a taste of what I'm going to teach. And it's long enough that you can see how easy it is to make a slideshow with just the default settings. Now, if you're not already subscribed to Screencast Online, you can watch all of the available videos during a free 7-day trial. So I put a link in the show notes to the teaser video, but you can, if you're already in Screencast Online, you could go to screencastonline.com and check it out. There we go. Spam, 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 spam.
Spam, spam,
spam. Okay. All right. Now, Steve, you're going to have to be the testimonial to the crowd that this is actually working, right?
Yes, I'm using it as we speak.
This next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you're using it. Do you like it?
Yeah, it seems to be working pretty well right now.
All right.
It's a very good stopgap.
Yeah.
Excellent stop.
So maybe we should talk more about it with the audience after we get done telling them what we're talking about.
Sounds good.
Okay, here we go. iMacs have spectacular screens, especially the 5K iMac. Like all Macs, they seem to last a very, very long time. Sometimes, though, the desire for a new Mac is normally well before the end of the useful life of an iMac. There's a lot of people who wish they could repurpose aging iMacs as a secondary display, but iMacs newer than mid-2014 don't support what Apple used to give us called target display mode. I've never understood why Apple doesn't let us have target display mode on the newer iMacs, and it's really a shame. Now, if Apple made a display that didn't cost $5,000, we'd probably not be so sad about this, but other than the LG 5K Ultrafine, which is a great display, we have literally no other options as good as the 27-inch 5K iMac. This is so frustrating to those who have a gorgeous 27-inch display sitting in the closet trapped in the body of an older iMac. Now, lovers of the 27-inch iMac are also very impatient right now because we've got so many other models of Macs that run circles around it with their sexy Apple Silicon processors and unified memory architecture. They want an Apple Silicon 27-inch iMac, and they want it now. Now, I feel their pain because Steve is one of those people itching for an Apple Silicon 27-inch iMac. I don't feel too sorry for him since he already has a 14-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. Here's the interesting thing, though. With a 27-inch LG Ultrafine display hooked to his 5-year-old iMac, he finds that a better machine to work with most of the time than his wicked fast MacBook Pro. All these gorgeous high-resolution pixels are actually more compelling than the speed of the machine. Now, I get that, but I also think it would make more sense to use the more capable Mac for our live show. The demands on his machine are really high as he ingests 2 video feeds from me across our internal network, combines that with his video feed, and pushes all of that up to YouTube. The 5-year-old Intel i9 iMac can do the job, but boy howdy does it complain with super loud fans when he's doing the show. Now, there's a solution to all of this, and I think it could be applicable to a lot of you out there, even if you don't have Steve's exact setup. In 2018, I told you about a $130 chiclet-sized USB-C dongle called the Lunar display from AstroPad. It allowed you to plug it into your Mac, and then you could drive your iPad as a secondary display using some software on both devices. Back then, it was pretty darn cool, but it got somewhat Sherlocked when Apple came out with Sidecar. Now, I still like the Lunar display solution better than Sidecar because you get the entire screen instead of that weird truncated display you get with buttons on the side of it for Sidecar. But, Sidecar being free made it pretty compelling. Now, the great news is that the folks at AstroPad have been working on new software to give us amazing capability with Lunar display. You can now use a second Mac as a display for your Mac or for a PC. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I've tested it extensively on Macs, and it's pretty magical. To perform this miracle of engineering, you install the primary Lunar display app on your primary Mac or PC, and then you'll install what they call the secondary Lunar display app on the Mac that will be just a display. Now, to be clear, either a Mac or PC can be the primary host machine, but only a Mac or an iPad can be the secondary display. Lunar display can drive a secondary Mac using Wi-Fi, but that really isn't going to give you the performance you need. To get the best results, you'll want to connect to the secondary Mac using a Thunderbolt cable. I tested using Thunderbolt from my MacBook Pro to the dock Steve uses for his iMac and LG display, hoping to drive both of them that way, but cursor movement was jumpy and weird, and scrolling wasn't as clear as we would have liked. You also do have the option of running Luna Display over Ethernet, but I didn't really have a way to test that easily. With Luna Display Primary running on the host machine and Luna Display Secondary running on the secondary Mac, and Thunderbolt connection made to both or to the other Mac, after doing the permissions dance you always have to do with this sort of thing, you should see your primary machine displaying to the secondary Mac. You'll also see a Luna Display settings window with options for arrangement and retina resolution. Now, arrangement gives you two very basic options, one showing the secondary Mac on the left and one on the right. If that works for you, great, you're ready to go. You can also hit the third button that says Custom, and that launches the display's preference pane that you're used to seeing. From there, you can arrange the screens as you would with any secondary display. I'm not sure what it launches on Windows if you do this, so from here on out in my discussion, I'm just going to stick to describing the Mac menus because I don't actually own a Windows machine to test this on. Now, by default, Retina resolution is not enabled, but hopefully I've convinced you to use Thunderbolt, so there's no reason not to get the full resolution of whatever Mac you use as a secondary display. In my tests using a 14-inch MacBook Pro connected to Steve's 2017 27-inch iMac, the iMac's display looked absolutely perfect using Luna Display to drive it. Scrolling is smooth, the text is gorgeous, and the cursor movement is nearly perfect. I say nearly because Steve says he feels some very small lag, but I don't know, I couldn't feel it at all. Now, when you start up Luna Display in this mode for the first time, the app will pop up a window suggesting you allow the secondary Mac's keyboard to play along as well. As they say in the explanation, it's pretty neat. I thought that was funny. Anyway, I have to agree, though, it is pretty neat. Steve has an external Magic Keyboard and trackpad, and when we allowed keyboard input, we were able to use it to drive the MacBook Pro. It was pretty neat, but it was also kind of freaky. The ultimate test was to also connect his LG 5K display to the MacBook Pro in addition to the iMac. I can report that using all direct Thunderbolt connections, the 14-inch MacBook Pro was able to drive the iMac Luna display and the LG both at full 5K resolution. Now, while I was doing my testing, Barry Folk happened to visit. I mentioned that I was working on a review of the new Mac-to-Mac capability of Luna Display, and he immediately endorsed it. Turns out, when he's working from home, he uses Luna Display to drive his iMac screen from his M1 MacBook Pro. His computers are right next to his router, so he connects both the primary and secondary computers to Ethernet, and he says the performance is also flawless. How's that for an endorsement? Now, I can think of a lot of combinations that could work really well. What if you've got a new M1 Mac Mini and you wanted to drive a 27-inch iMac? You could do that. Or what if you've got a new laptop and an older Mac laptop? I tested that configuration as well. I set up my 2016 15-inch Intel MacBook Pro as a secondary display to my 2020 14-inch MacBook Pro. And I did it using Thunderbolt, of course, and it worked perfectly. I do have one caution, though. If you run a configuration like this, so one Mac with a secondary Mac laptop being plugged into it, if you run that configuration without plugging into power, the primary Mac will actually drain the battery of the second Mac laptop. Now, you might not even notice this is happening. Since the secondary Mac laptop is acting as a screen for the primary Mac, the battery indicator you have showing in the menu bar is for the primary Mac, not the secondary Mac. Now, the folks at Astropad obviously realize this because on the Luna Display app screen, it tells you in very light gray text the battery level of the secondary Mac. So you might want to keep an eye on this, especially since an older Mac laptop you're repurposing might not have the best battery life. In my test, the secondary Mac drained from 100% to 49% before I noticed it, and my primary Mac had gone from 80% to 84%. Now let's take a walk through some of the more interesting preferences for Luna Display. On the Connectivity tab, there's a section entitled Wi-Fi Connection Mode. When I first fired up Luna Display, it had defaulted to Office mode. In this mode, pairing must be via a hardwired connection or using what they call manual Wi-Fi. The idea is that if you're in an office setting where multiple people are running Luna Display, you don't want devices connecting to each other willy-nilly over Wi-Fi without explicit permission by the secondary device. In manual Wi-Fi mode, when you launch Luna Display on both devices, you get a screen on each device showing a QR code on the secondary device and a place to enter the IP address of the host machine. If your secondary device is an iPad, you can easily scan that QR code with the iPad's camera, but it's a wee bit tricky with a secondary Mac, so you would want to just type it in. Now, if you're not in a multi-Luna display environment, it's probably easier to switch over to home mode, where any device can request to connect to another device. As I said earlier, a Thunderbolt connection is ideal, but if you need to go with Wi-Fi mode, this does work as well. In the next tab, creatively named Luna Display, so we're in Luna Display looking at the Luna Display preferences, and this tab is called Luna Display. You can choose whether or not to automatically open Luna Display app when you insert the physical device. That's the way I keep it set. You can also choose the default position left or right of the primary computer and the secondary display. I highly recommend paying attention to this setting. I didn't at first, and it was very head-bendy to have to run my cursor to the far left to get to the computer to the right in order to flip the relative positions each time. In this same tab, there's a setting for max resolution and max refresh rate. The maximum resolution can be set to 5K, 4K, or automatic, and the maximum refresh rate can be 60 Hz, 45 Hz, 30 Hz, or automatic. I played around with these settings, and to be honest, I never saw a difference, so I put them all back to automatic on both. In the Mac to iPad preference, you could set the iPad to be in teleprompter mode. I haven't ever used any kind of teleprompter, but my understanding is that it's all done with mirrors. So in order to make the display oriented correctly for the reader, the iPad's display needs to be flipped upside down, and that's exactly what teleprompter mode does in Luna Display. In the Mac to Mac preferences, you can set different ways to connect the two computers. The default is to allow any network interface, but you can force it to Wi-Fi only, Ethernet only, computer to computer or plugged into your router, or Thunderbolt only. If you hold down the Option key when you open up Luna Display Preferences, you get a debug menu and you get even geekier controls. There are some even more advanced settings you can play around with if you like. You can control the GPU acceleration by choosing Metal, OpenCL, or CPU. You can change the liquid engine version between V2 and V3, but I have no clue what that even is. So the bottom line is that if you've got an older Mac with a perfectly good screen and you need a secondary display, I think AstroPad is a pretty solid way to give that older machine a new lease on life. $130 sound expensive when Luna Display worked only on the iPad and you could use Sidecar for free, but if you can have a 5K display for your new Apple Silicon Mac, it could actually save you money to buy an AstroPad. I love that existing Luna Display owners, like me, get all this great capability without paying an extra dime. So I didn't have to buy a new Luna Display. I got to use the one I've had for years. And I'm happy to report that I am doing the live show at this moment with Steve. Steve is driving everything from his MacBook Pro, and he has the iMac as his first primary display or secondary display, and he's also using the 5K LG as a secondary display, tertiary display. And he says that it's working great, and you know he would tell me if it didn't. Whew. You're muted, dear.
Yes.
There we go.
Probably booming too. Let me bring this down. So I'll show you my setup. Assuming my cable reaches.
You do it.
So we're using
Sandy says you're too quiet, so stay on the mic.
All right. How about this?
That's better.
So there's the little Luna display on my MacBook, 14-inch MacBook Pro. This is it's a little bright, but that's my iMac. I can't bring this back far enough. Behind it,
your displays are too big. You might want to go full screen on you, by the way.
All right.
I guess you could hide the window. Oh, here. Oh, that's great.
So if I go full screen on me, I lose your voice. Another thing I don't like about StreamYard. Anyway, it's kind of hard to see, but that's my 27-inch iMac, and there's the 27-inch LG display. So I've got basically 3 displays all being driven off of this MacBook Pro, and I can control using this keyboard and trackpad or my main keyboard and trackpad. Both of them work, which is kind of weird.
We found one really weird thing, and I thought about saying it during the show, but I didn't want to wing it too much. We discovered that Steve keeps his dock hidden, And using the trackpad on his MacBook Pro, he could get to the dock on the, let's see, it's on the LG, but using his external trackpad, he couldn't.
Yeah.
We should tell him about that. Well, I don't know whether that's a Luna display problem or not.
Not clear.
It might be interesting to unplug Thunderbolt from your iMac first and see whether you can get to the dock on the external display on the 5K, the LG. Because we don't actually know. That might be an Apple bug.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't like, I'm not fond of Sidecar. It's funky. It's also headbendy that it's sort of touchscreeny, but sort of not. It's like halfway in between.
Semi-touchscreeny.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. I want to look at the time because I might get away with saving everything I wrote today for next week because I haven't, except I've only done one topic here. How long is my thing with Chris? 34, 44, 50 minutes. Ooh, that's tempting to save the article I wrote today. Would you guys be mad at me if I only had 2 big topics? Think I can get away with that? I got 34 minutes. All right, cool. The ladies voted. Whatever you men think, I won't have to care. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that, Steve. Let me make a giant note here. Pull.
Which one are you pulling?
I'm gonna not do the universal audio one.
Okay. But you're gonna keep Chris's thing?
Oh yeah. That's
okay.
That bought me time. Actually, I want to show you. You know, I've talked about how long it takes me to do my blog posts. I spent about probably 45 minutes making this for the one I'm not going to do. Oh, Steve, show Discord in the live in the video so people can see it. I don't think he can hear. Yeah, there we go. So that's the Apollo Solo on the left and the Wave XLR on the right. I'll be saving that one. Who are you asking which Stream Deck did they get? Al? All right. Oops. Because many people got it here. Bruce got one too. Well, maybe we should do everybody tell me what they did, what they've done with their Stream Deck. I think that would be fun. All right. Mine is the no button one. Okay. So I'm going to do support the show, and I've dropped in the links there. Oh, 2 people wrote, oh, Sandy and Kevin, you guys are jinx. Oh, there we go. Alistair, that's a lot of keyboard, and left-handed too. All right. Last week, I explained the enormous amount of work that Bart and William Reveal and I had done to speed up podfeed.com. Turns out we're not out of the woods yet, and more huge changes are coming. With any luck, you will only notice things getting faster, nothing catastrophic. But if you check podfeed.com and it's down for a few minutes, that's why. We are messing with it big time. Now, I want to wait to describe to you everything we did since the last time we talked about it, because I want to wait until I know how the story ends. Otherwise, it's just a continuing saga. But I can say that William has put in a ton more hours on the problem. We're having fun, and we're doing all kinds of cool things, but there's a lot more heavy lifting to be done. The site is, like I said, mostly faster, but it's not as fast as we think it can be. We've got some interesting little security things to tighten up. With any luck, we're going to get it going even faster. Now, when I finished this conversation about the website last week, I told you that I'd had to rent a database server and increase the cost of the web server in order to start attacking the slowdown problem. I asked if people could pitch in to help pay for the costs, and my plea for help was heard. Chris E. became our newest patron, contributing in his home currency of pounds. Frank Voss, who is an existing patron, increased his pledge from what he was already giving. And Klaus Wolf, who is another long-term patron, decided to simply pay for this month's entire increase in server costs and a PayPal donation. So, how cool are these folks to help the show out like that? Now, it turns out it's not enough yet to help pay for the future months of just these increases. So if you'd like to be a cool kid like Chris, Frank, and Klaus, please consider going to podfeet.com/Patreon or podfeet.com/PayPal and make a donation that's right for you. All right. If you guys don't know Chris Ashley, you're going to fall in love with him here today.
Good guy. Good guy, Chris.
Yeah. That reminds me, I need to figure out, I've got something wrong with, I was unable to make a recording when we talked. He had to do the recording. I could not do it. And he did it using Zencaster, which was interesting.
Don't forget your, maybe you have to.
Oh, I didn't do a chapter mark. You're right. Thank you. Okay, so there is no blog post. Still going to do a grumpy here. Nope. All right, how long's the timeout?
That sounded more like a frustrated than a grumpy.
No, I got to wait for the timeout.
Oh, you're in timeout?
Yes. There we go. Did I get it? There we go. All right, so I made the chapter mark be the his Amazon affiliate link.
Cool.
I think I've successfully done all their Amazon affiliate links for everything he talked about.
All right, we'll put one in right now. I assuming you put it in for his. Let me check it. Yeah, that's an affiliate link.
Yeah, whether it's his or not is the question.
It is. I see SMR podcast in the.
Yeah, well, I pasted it in the way it looked on his other ones, so hopefully that'll work.
Right.
Let's see. Let's see how this sounds. PayPal and make a donation that's right for you. Nope, too long. It's annoying having a chapter mark right here. I should have waited to put the chapter mark in until it was done. All right. And make a donation that's right for you. Well, I've asked the awesome Chris Ashley of the SMR podcast and the Barbecue Tech podcast to come on the show to tell us about a cool new piece of tech he just bought. Thanks for coming on the show, Chris.
Thank you very much for having me. One of my favorite people on earth. Happy to hang out.
I'm telling you, they don't get better than you.
I put my controller down. I was deep in the new DLC for the game, and you were like, come hang out with me. And I was like, no problem. I'm there.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. I was actually running when I was dictating to you, so I'm surprised you could even understand what I was saying.
Hey, I just saw a bat signal come through. iPhone's pretty good about that. It just said bat signal. Need you. Got you.
I love it. I love it. Well, so we have to give. Do we have to give Rod any credit for the new tech you have?
I would say we'd give him blame for the new tech that I have, not credit, because
costing you money.
It cost me a ton of money. And of course, he comes back and is like, oh, you're just buying all kinds of new tech. And I'm like, shut up.
You started it.
Yes, but
I have been accused of this show costing people a lot of money. So I feel okay about it.
Same with us. But you know what? If we make some lives happier, hey, it's all good.
There you go. So you bought a new monitor, and you wouldn't think a new monitor would be that exciting, but you bought something really, really interesting. Tell us about what you bought.
So I bought the Samsung G9 49-inch monitor, and this thing is absolutely amazing. And the thing is, and I'll tell people right now, I'm not it does this refresh rate and it does this from the amount of pixels and the pixel density and all. I don't care. Does it look good? Yes. Does it solve my problem? Yes. And that's why I bought this monitor, because it solved a problem that was cropping up for me. And I needed to fix it. And, it was.
When I heard 49 inches, though, I'm thinking I've got a TV in my bedroom that's 49 inches. That would be a ridiculous thing to be looking at. This is 49 inches, very different from a normal aspect ratio, right?
Yes, because it's curved. So
But not just curved. It's not tall.
right, it's curved
It's wide.
and it's not very tall. You're right. So it's matter of fact, I should have put my old monitor up to it again. It might be narrower than my previous monitor, but it's maybe like a foot and a half from my seating position, and everything is perfect. Like you don't strain to see anything on it. Everything looks good, and it's been a really, really great addition to my lineup here of tech.
So I was messing around with the specs when Rod first brought his and arguing about all the things you don't care about pixel density and aspect ratios and that kind of thing. But I think what's maybe a way to describe it is you said on SMR that it's like having two 27-inch displays.
That is the
side by
part.
side, but all connected as one giant piece.
Exactly right. So what happened to me? I like everybody else had the whole multi-monitor setup in my office for many years. I thought I was the cool guy. And then I was like, okay, I need to move my mouse between the two monitors. So I started using mouse without borders. And then I started adding more computers to the setup because, of course, I record the podcast in my office. So I now needed a KVM switch and all of this stuff to make the two monitors work. And then after that, I was like, I don't need two monitors. I can really just use the KVM in one monitor and reduce some of the devices and the clutter that was accumulating in my office. So that was for a few years, it was the perfect solution. But, I think like everybody else in the tech world, we evolve, our needs evolve. And, some of us just can't move, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm like, all right, this problem is what I thought was my mecca is no longer that. And I needed to make some adjustments. And the catalyst for that was I was working and I received a document that said, this requires your editing and you need to go through this Excel spreadsheet and go through these lines and make sure all these numbers and all these things are correct. Now, I am the worst with Excel. I hate it. If I have to open it, I really go push my face into a wall first, and then I'll go into it. And then the worst part about this Excel spreadsheet was it was so long. Like the information, of course, the information I needed was on the far left of the spreadsheet and the far right of the spreadsheet. So I was like zip, 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 back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, I wish you'd call me, because there's something called freeze panes. So you could freeze the left pane and slide everything over from the right. You could see them at the same time.
They should call it remove a pane, because it was a pain.
All right. I think that's enough for you. I'm going to check this because I turned my volume up partway through. He didn't tell me I was as low compared to him. Oh no, that's right. But then I turned my volume up. God, I hope I wasn't peaking. The first thing you do when you get a new computer. No, there we go. I think. What does this look so small? 17. Oh, I'm just zoomed way back. It looks. I'm gonna let our phonic leveler do it. All right. So we're actually going to get out of school early because of this.
We are.
That other article. Do you like his wormy maple desk in that photo? That's
yeah.
He built that desk.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
He made it himself.
This guy.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
The I'm kind of a 27-inch snob myself. Alistair, you were saying that if it's not as good as a 27-inch iMac, you can't look at it. I am definitely a snob about that, but most people are not. Most people just go, it's fine. They 1080p people will look at it. I'm like, it burns. So it is an interesting idea, though. We talk a lot about the fact that it's so stinking wide, but because it's curved, everything's at the same focal distance for him. So right now I've got Hindenburg up in my upper left, and if I want to work on the file, I actually go like this. I actually shove my head over to get where I want to see it. So I'm always rearranging things and putting things I don't need to look at on the left and right because it's so wide. So,
but could that also have to do with your glasses not having the same focus off axis?
Well, but I mean, I can turn my head.
Do you have bifocals?
Essentially, yeah.
Because
But
those
no,
tend to not be good off axis.
true, but it's quite a distance over,
Yeah.
the edge of my display is right here with respect to my line of vision. So that's really far away.
True.
But if it was curved in, it would be better. But all about oh, okay, you care about the color. Yeah, that's completely different. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna actually let's see what those.
Definitely.
And on Twitter, where are you?
You season.
So that's bbqntech.com.
Yes.
All right. Very cool. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I am peaking there. Dang it. I turned my volume up. I shouldn't have done it. Should have just trusted my own software to fix it. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Let's see. Hang on one second. Just do a little cheat here. Cheat code. All right. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. No, hang on. I had so much fun talking to Chris. Can you tell that? I could talk to him about anything forever and always. He is just the best. Such a fun guy, such a smart guy. Really, really happy to get to know him. But that's going to wind us up for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com and I'll actually write back to you probably? If you have a question or a suggestion, just send it on over. You can also send in specifically dumb questions. You can send in reviews, anything you want. You can follow me on Twitter. Well, actually, not anything you want. I want to talk about tech. That's the only thing I want to talk about. You can also follow me on Twitter at Podfeed. If you want to join in the fun of the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeed.com/Slack, where you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways, even Bart. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/PayPal, like Chris, Frank, and Klaus do. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Are we going to get a refund? It's 20 minutes early.
That's good, Mike.
Yeah, I thought about playing more of the show, but of the conversation with Chris. But you can watch me. You can watch me edit if you want. I don't do much, actually. I'm gonna be.
You need to pay for your efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. Castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. There we go. I did I'm going to be on the Mac Power Users with Stephen Hackett and
David Sparks.
And I think it's going to be one of those workflow episodes. And I'm thinking about, I got to figure out which of the 48 things I do I want to talk about. But I was thinking about the fact that my show is up within 10, 15 minutes of when I'm done recording. I was on the SMR podcast last week on Wednesday, and it's not out yet. I keep actually Chris has been playing around with he got a Synology NAS and he's been entertaining himself with that. I think he's gotten behind. It's pretty funny that it's not up yet though.
So Kevin's reminding us we need to do a chapter.
Oh, okay.
Chapter
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting support the show.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
All righty. Good job. Actually, what would happen? How small would things look if I shared my entire screen? Let me try this. Let's see. Select window of screen. Do I have to do the entire screen 1? What do you think? Screen 1? Which one's screen 1, do you think? I bet screen 2. Yeah, there you go. All right. Bring that in, Steve.
I don't see it yet. Oh, there it is. Whoa, wow. Okay, I'll go full screen on this.
Oh, no. We can't.
Why can't you do that?
Oh, wait a minute. Can we hear you? Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah.
Why? Neither of our faces are in there.
Well, I'm in a view where we're both selected, but only the shared display is being shown. So this is a little bit different than.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So let's see. Over here in Hindenburg, I'm going to export the show as an M4A. And then I'm going to launch, let's see, I'll do a Safari window probably. Open Safari. New window in Safari. And I'm going to go to Auphonic Leveler, which is right there. And this is how I convert the show to an MP3. Oh, I have to. Is that done? Yep, that's done. So we can actually quit Hindenburg, and I guess we don't need to be watching Slack at the same time. You guys will just go over and read that. So go find my audio file, which has been automatically named, and I'll upload that. And then I do a text expander snippet for the episode number, and I say start production. And I say start production. And then I ignore this for a little while, get that out of our way. And I already cut that episode out here. Actually, we may end up having to wait. I've already done feeder ahead of time. Oh, I got to cut it out of feeder. That's what I need to do. I need to take the Lunar display one. It's this one I want to get rid of.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. So I got to cut it out there. And I got to cut it out of here. You know, I really went back and forth. So I did this article about abandoning the Universal Audio Apollo Solo, and I decided to include them on the tweet.
Oh.
Is that mean?
Well, you had constructive criticism, correct? Things that they could improve on.
And it's not like I didn't try to work with them. You know?
Yeah, and it was like a year? How long did you have that?
Oh, 2.5 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I followed it for a long time. All right, so this is now this is sitting and waiting, and when this finishes, it's audio processing now. So this is doing the leveling of the audio. It's bringing it up to the loudness standards. It's adding the ID3 tags for iTunes, and it's adding the album artwork, and then it's FTPing it up to Libsyn, where I serve the audio files.
There we go. There's a display where you can actually see us in the lower left.
Oh, you found another option.
It does hide Discord, but you're not trying to show that, I guess.
No, So this is, let's see. So this is pretty much ready. So I'm going to send this to the blog, and then we'll switch back over. We'll open another Safari window here, which I will actually use my Stream Deck to open my WordPress. And in a second, you'll see this show up down here. This is what Spaces is for. More windows. Yeah, but here's the problem. I need to be able to see things at the same time. And so I'm always having to drag things over back out of Spaces and back into this space. I am using them more than I thought I would, but see, I don't need that. I'm definitely using them more than I thought I would, but not quite enough. Yeah, but there's just a lot of, like when I'm doing programming now, I do that in a separate space because I don't want to be looking at all the other stuff.
Because there's not much interaction between that space and all the others that you're.
Right. So what would you put in a different space right now, Mike, if you were doing this? Which of these things that I'm doing simultaneously would you put in a separate space? Because I actually need to be accessing everything that I'm seeing. I need to be I need to know when my Auphonic Leveler window opens. So I need that up while I'm doing this, because as soon as that's done, I'm ready to go. A side tilt switch. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say set featured image. And the name of the logo is actually started with Skyline when we first found it. There you go. So now you can see how our audio levels were all over the map. And this is the output now, the top half of this. And let's see, I finished this task over here. But you can see how low the levels were, how much louder it is. So the loudness standards have been met. And you can see like this big spike here that's been leveled out. And I just found this the other day. There's this show stats thing. And look at all this stuff. Probably can't read that. It's a little
Not
small,
really.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's got stuff like the program loudness, dialogue loudness, max peak level, the input and the output file compared. It's pretty cool stuff. So what I really like, what I'm really proud of is things like this. So in this Finder window, it's too hard to read any of this, isn't it?
Well,
In
I
this-
just went full screen. I can read it now, but it may be because this is not on YouTube. I'm seeing the direct before it's
okay.
transmitted. So I don't think.
So,
Go ahead.
so right here, you can see I've got 3 files that are NC 2022-0227. This one is the Hindenburg file, and this is the folder of associated files that have been pulled into it. So you can see my intro and outro music. There's me and Chris talking, and these are all of the clips I recorded. And then I've got the exported M4A. But over here, I am going to press a button to download, and it's going to go to my downloads folder. But watch, get ready. It's very exciting. Here it comes. Well, that's taking longer than it usually does.
See it.
Hang on. There it goes. Oh, come on. There it is. Boom. You see it came in automatically because Hazel watches my downloads folder. And if it finds a file of that file format type of the name, it brings it into, puts it in here for me. So now I know that it's there. I know that's 50.9 megabytes. So now we can go back over here. And let's see. I think this, I'm going to type in H. And it's going to fill all this crapola in, and I'm going to tell. So now I'm looking. This is feeder that runs the feed file. I'm going to put in correct the date, and I'm going to fetch attributes from web. And this should already be over on Libsyn. And there it tells me it's 50.9 megabytes. This one was 50.9 megabytes. I know it's the right file, which I don't do it quite the same way when I'm doing chit chat, which is why I screwed it up last week. All right, or why I didn't catch it last week. Okay, so we should preview this, make sure the logo's there. And Frank sends his regrets. Well, tell him we missed him.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the logo. Looks like I've got some links. There's Chris's desk, the other stuff that he mentioned. We're good to go. Close that link so you don't accidentally tweet it. And then I like to publish the podcast first, because these two things are linked together. Oh, no. We didn't finish. That was close. Okay, I'm going to push a button here. I didn't put the link to the audio episode, so I'm going to press a button on my Stream Deck, and there it is. Pretty exciting, huh? Did you see that? It was magic. All that went in there with a button on my Stream Deck. All automated through Keyboard Maestro and Text Expander and Stream Deck.
So this is what you're going to talk about with David
Yeah, maybe that's part of what I should talk about. All right, so let's preview again.
So we don't need to listen to it.
No, you lived it.
We lived it.
Yeah. Yep, it looks good. Okay, so I'm going to publish that because that can stand alone, and then I can publish this. And we're going to publish. Look at this. We'll be done before 6 o'clock. You getting your money's worth, Mike?
Now he's sorry he said it.
Yeah, you were going to get out early. You could have gone off, enjoyed yourself, but no, you had to stay and listen and watch this. You had to make everybody else stay. All right. So now we're going to bring up Downcast with another button. And this is where we check to see if it actually comes in. And we should see something queued for download. There it is. And this is longer. And here we go. Yeah, 52 minutes. There we go. Check chapter marks. Looks like the right one.
Yep.
There we go. It's the right one. And so now let's run another text expander snippet. Let's see. I think I've got this set up to work on a button on Stream Deck. Let's see if it works. So with this, we don't need a Phonic Cup anymore. Now I'm going to press a button on my Stream Deck that I think will generate a tweet for me. Oh, that's interesting. No, it's got to be in my copy buffer first. Hang on. It's not quite automated the way it should yet. Let me close Tweetbot. So I'm going to hit Control Command T. I need to add that to my button. And I'll go press my button for Tweetbot. It'll open Tweetbot, and there's the link. And then I'm going to move the image into there, and then I'm going to click it, and I'm going to go to Add Image Description, use a text expander snippet for NosillaCast logo. And we are done. That looks good. Actually, let's throw at big Chris Ashley on here, and let's add
Rod.
Boinks. Rod? Why Rod?
Well,
He
Rod
wasn't
made
on.
him buy all this stuff.
Nah.
He's to blame, right?
Let's have Astropad on there. They'll like it. Okay. Tweet. Oh, all right. And Mike Price is confirming it's already up. And then we switch over to my NosillaCast account and we retweet that. And then we will launch. We bring back up Slack. We paste it here. And then in a separate window that you're not looking at, we go over here and we tell Steve to
Go
post the
paste it
show
in Facebook. Because I haven't quit Facebook, but you
Boom.
have. Now,
we're done.
I got to go now and copy and paste this thing.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of work. And a Slack notification. All right. Was that fun to watch? Was that interesting? Or have you guys seen it enough times you're bored with it? Oh, good. I'm kind of proud of how streamlined that is, you know?
Not bad.
I get it done a little bit faster than most people, and then I can quit all this stuff. I don't know what I would have put on a different space. Seriously, what would I put on a different space that would have been efficient?
I like your palm trees.
Oh, I took this picture. Actually, there we go. Whee!
Here, I'll get rid of us.
Oh, wee! I laid on my back to do that one.
I was going to say, you must have.
I'm glad it was fun to listen to, Michael. I hope it was enough narration. Somebody told me about a cool plugin for Tweetbot. Or no, it's a Twitter account you can follow that reminds you if you forget to put the alt tags on an image. It sends you a tweet and goes, yeah, you forgot your alt tag. So I think it's fun. All right, 5:56. We're going to end early. Steve, you want to say goodbye to the kids?
Goodbye, kids. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you. We will be back next week. Yes, we should be.
All right. I'm sorry Mike made you stay late after class. Goodbye. Goodbye, Rose, even though you're not here.
Bye all. 3, 2, 1.